Morning guys and girls, Mitch the Bushveld here. Today we're going to continue with our series on building a simple pocket style survival kit. Let's get into it. So in addition to what we put in our survival kit in part 1, I'll put a link up here to that one, is a simple whistle. If you're in need of help and you try and scream, after a couple of minutes your voice is gone. Pack a whistle, it can be heard a lot further, it can be heard a lot louder, and it'll save your voice when rescuers get closer to you. Next thing I'd recommend putting in a survival kit is sterilizing tablets. It just makes our lives a whole lot easier to create clean water. One tablet equals 1 liter of water. Yes, we've got our stainless steel container. Yes, we can boil water to purify it. But sometimes having a little purification tablet just makes your life a whole lot easier. Next item I'd recommend keeping in your survival kit is some duct tape, some high quality duct tape. It can be used for fire starting, it can be used as first aid equipment, it can even help with shelter building. Always good to have a couple of feet of duct tape in your survival kit. Next item that needs to go in your survival kit is some cordage. Cordage is one of the hardest things to make off the landscape in a survival situation, especially when you don't have your equipment with you, and you have got a few options. The first one is good old paracord. You can pull the inners out, that gives you a lot more cordage, and it does tend to stretch. Next option that I've been playing around with is this very thin cord that they actually use for Venetian blinds inside households. It's thin, it's light, it's incredibly strong, and it doesn't take up much space. The next is artificial lacing cord that they use when they attach houses. This can be broken down into smaller fibers, giving you a lot more cordage. It's relatively cheap. I know a lot of overseas bushcrafters and survival experts recommend bankline. Unfortunately here in South Africa we don't have bankline locally, and if we do import it, it's incredibly expensive. The last option is waxed natural twine. Lots and lots of uses. It's very flammable, so you can use it for starting fires. It's waterproof, it'll biodegrade if you leave it out in the bush. The only problem is it's kind of bulky. It's up to you which one you would prefer to put in your survival kit. My personal recommendation, put some of the blind cord inside your survival kit. Take some of the paracord, replace your shoelaces. That way you always have cordage on you unless you lose your shoes. The next item that I'd recommend putting in a survival kit is one of these survival cards. It comes with a spear point, a little knife, a couple of jigs, a couple of little hooks, and a saw. It's not the most ideal piece of equipment, but it's going to give you options, and that's something that you need in a survival kit, is options. It's about the size of a large credit card, takes up no space, super light. Might as well have it in there, and I'm sure you can find a whole bunch of uses for this one. Lastly, for part 2 of our survival kit build, something one of my viewers mentioned, and I think it's a really good idea, is to get some sort of belt pouch that you can put your survival kit in. And you can put it in a cargo pocket. On a long walk it might get a little bit uncomfortable. Putting it on a belt pouch, you're never going to lose your survival kit unless you lose your pants and your belt. Rather have one of these on you. Well, thank you for joining me on this discussion on putting together our survival kit. I'm Mitch the Bushveld. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember, you can follow me on Facebook. And as soon as the weather gets a little bit warmer, we're going to take this kit out into the bush and we're going to work with it and see how it goes. Catch you on the next one.